Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday, December 20th. We're just days away from Christmas. Holiday season is in full gear. And so we thought, what a better day to have our author celebration for the book, Her Unseen Battles. And the book is a co-authored book of 26 fantastic, impressive women who have shared their very most intimate details of battles that most of the world was not aware of, yet they persevered, showed resilience, pushed through. And this book is meant to really show that there is hope, that there is something, what I like to call over the horizon or over the rainbow. And I am joined with some of the co-authors today. So I just wanted to give the ladies some time to share a little bit about themselves and maybe why they chose to write in this book. So I'm going to go to Ava first.
Hi, thank you so much. A little bit about myself. I'm born and raised in Sweden, currently living in Gran Canaria, Spain. I had problems with my body my entire life, from the teenage years, and it escalated all the time. And in my late 30s, I had so much pain 24/7. I barely got out of bed, and it wasn't. I was just surviving. And my husband was working at sea, so he was away 3 months at a time, and we had a 3-year-old boy at home as well. And the doctors told me that there was nothing to do, and I felt that I can't be living like this for the rest of my life. So that was a pivot in my life. So I actually researched and found my way to health. So today I'm pain-free, and I'm living a very wonderful life. um, yeah, if you think of how it was. So, yeah. That I wrote the book is because when I share my story to others, I have heard that a lot of times they say, well, you should write about it. You should share your message to the world, because there are so many people suffering. And I want to show them that there is a way to heal, actually. So even though you have chronic pain and fatigue and you don't know what to do, and the doctors say that there is nothing to do, there is a way out of it. So I want to share that with all who want to listen and want to find their way to heal.
Sorry, what is the name of your chapter?
Vitality Reclaimed. Yeah.
And how do you feel today, sitting here celebrating a book that you wrote?
I think it's very exciting. I am a little bit nervous because I'm not so used to talking about myself. But yes, it feels really nice, actually. And yeah, I want to share the message that that it is possible to heal. And for me to, I was working as a medical secretary in Sweden, and when we moved here, I needed to find something else to do, and I found my way to craniosacral osteopathy. So I'm working with that now, and to be able to learn even more about the body and how we are able to heal very deeply and to help other people to heal and get pain free. It's such a blessing to be able to help others. So I hope that this chapter and this book will help others as well to share the message even further.
Thank you for sharing. All right. How about you, Antoinette? How are you today?
Hi, ladies. I am doing absolutely fantastic. I am doing very well. Thank you. So my chapter is Antoinette 1, MS 0. So I am an MS warrior. I have multiple sclerosis. I was diagnosed at the age of 18 during my freshman year in college. So this chapter, people in my family, of course, know that I have multiple sclerosis. Also, in my work of employment, they knew that I had it, but folks didn't really understand how it manifests itself and how I've been able to maintain over the years. So I've had MS for 27 years, right? And so my chapter just really talks about from the very beginning when it manifests itself when I was in high school, but I really didn't know what was going on with my body. And then when I finally got diagnosed at 18 years old, there wasn't a lot of information about multiple sclerosis. And so I had to like try to tread through the minimal research that was out there in layman's terms for me to understand as a freshman in college. And then throughout the chapter, I'll talk a little bit about how I had to like reorganize my life to be able to cope with multiple sclerosis. I am a retired elementary school principal. I've been retired for 1 year. And so I talk about how within the past 3 years, the MS really impacted the ability to achieve at high levels. And just really understanding that sometimes you can't do all that you want to do at a certain point, right? But not to ever give up. Also in the chapter, I go through some of my own personal affirmations, some biblical affirmations that I do in the morning still. And that has helped me through multiple sclerosis over the years. So my chapter is one of like truth, but also how MS is, you see me, I have an autoimmune disease. I'm always so very ecstatic and happy and thankful, but it is really, truly an unseen battle. You don't see it unless I have flare-ups or a relapse, or if I'm walking with my cane, or if you're having a conversation with me and I'm overwhelmed or stressed. You won't see MS, right? For me, you won't see it. So, I the chapter itself is totally awesome. I was able to listen to my husband read it to me, and I was like, whoa, that's pretty good. Like, really sharing my life story and just really how good God has been in my life and how he's really led me through some really tough times. And currently, like I shared, I'm retired, but I have restored all of my recall, short and long-term recall. My stress levels are very low. I am not dependent on a cane. My gait is a little bit more smoother. And so just really, really focused on healthy living, just like Eva said, and just really thankful for life, another day. So please make sure you read the whole entire anthology, which is phenomenal. And then chapter 5, which is me, Antoinette, 1 MS0.
I need to ask, what do you think is one of the biggest parts about this that people didn't know?
I would probably have to say that every day I'm usually dealing with a pain threshold of like 8 out of 10. Mm-hmm. And so people don't really understand that, right? Unless they do have a debilitating, a disease or a debilitating part of their life, right? As far as their health is concerned. But yeah, on a really good day, I would probably say a 7, but I really have to encourage myself every day and even throughout the day. Like, remember you are breathing, right? Remember that you are here present with your husband and your children. So that in itself, a lot of folks have no idea unless, I share with them, like, I look good, don't always feel good.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for sharing that. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
All right, let's go to Miss Pat. Good morning and happy Friday to you.
Good morning. I'm very excited to be participating in this celebration with the other authors. The reason I wanted to be in this anthology is I find the stories of everyday women so inspiring. We read about famous people or movie stars, and many of them have had challenges. I don't mean to minimize that. These are stories, though, of everyday women like you and me. Mm-hmm. And people walk around, you never know what's going on in their lives. And to hear these stories of a woman who might be walking next to me on the street or standing next to me in the checkout line, I find that so inspiring. And I wanted to be part of that effort to get messages of hope and courage to women all over the world. I mean, this is an anthology that's being made available all over the world. I just, it builds me up, and I'm just thrilled to have been part of it. My chapter is, does your bucket list have a hole in it? And it's based on the discovery that my mother passed away at almost 90 years old, and she had never lived her dream. And the reason we knew that is we found an old term paper she had written when she was finishing up her college at the age of 62, and she had to describe her dream. And when we read that, we realized that she had never done it. And I was 65 reading her paper she wrote at 62. And it was like getting hit with a bolt of lightning. It was like, oh my gosh, Pat, are you going to die without living your dream? And it was just a real epiphany. And many people, women especially, because we devote our lives to our families and other people, we think it's too late. Oh, I'm too old. Oh, I'll never be able to do that. And it's not too late. And I wanted women to see that I was living proof of that. And that's what I do in my coaching practice with women over 40. I help them transform those fears that they have. One of which is, is it too late? Will I be able to do this? Into action steps. They could be small steps, but action steps that move them closer and closer to their dream. So I'm just thrilled to be part of this effort, and I am truly inspired by the stories of all the women in the anthology, and I encourage anybody who is listening to this podcast to go out and get that book. It's great.
Thank you. All right. Good morning, Linda. How are you today?
I'm fabulous. How are you, ladies?
Amazing.
I wanted to be in this book because I wanted to be able to help other women who might be going through feeling invisible, and how to not let that become a second skin on you. My chapter is called My Invisibility Cloak, and it just basically talked about my struggles with illness, depression, not wanting to be seen or heard because I felt like I was being seen and heard in a way I didn't want to be. And I just wrapped myself in this cocoon of invisibility, and how I struggled to get out of that afterwards, and what I did to get out of that. One of the things is you don't do it alone. And I had a very good friend. When she got divorced, she moved in with me, and just having another person around to keep me accountable and help me want to be seen again. And this book is full of so many stories of so many ways that women just like us have fought through those battles. And those are the things that I encourage, everybody should buy this book and read this, because maybe not every story is going to talk to you, but something in every story probably will. And whatever you think you're going through right now, you're not by yourself. And that's the power of these anthologies. It's not just one person's story. It's a group of us telling our stories and how we persevered and moved on, and we can be that beacon for someone else.
I think that it's when you're when you feel invisible or you're not feeling seen or heard the way that you want to be. I think it's, we all have these battles that we don't talk about out loud, right? We face them mentally and emotionally, even physically. And it becomes a struggle that unless a person's actually in it with you, they wouldn't understand it. And sometimes we get stuck on how to communicate it. And so I think this book is going to be a book that will continue to show, I think, men and women, honestly, how to navigate through battles that, for the men, maybe they don't understand the battle their wife is going through. And so maybe there'll be some things that may resonate with them and they may say, oh, okay, or about their mother. And then to the woman who reads this book to know she's not alone, that even if we're divided by continents, oceans, mountains, but there's so many things that we as women face alone, but they're very similar. So I think the book offers a lot of hope and a lot of like where we were versus where we are. So I think it's a very powerful tool. So thank you for sharing that. All right. So we also are joined today with another amazing co-author, Vandana. Good morning. How are you today?
I'm great. I have to tell you, I have picked the absolute best lighting for this call. I'm sitting in, I don't know what it is, fluorescent light in a car dealership trying to get my winter tires put on. So if it's a bit noisy here, you'll know why. But it's so nice to see everybody here. And Hannah, you look beautiful.
Thank you.
And I'm delighted to be here.
So tell us a little bit about your chapter. What made you decide to write in the book?
I actually think it's one of the best chapters I've written, to be honest. I'm really proud of it, and I write a lot. But this one really hit me, and I think what was exciting for me is, it's not what you know, it's what you do with what you know, right? Mm-hmm. So to me, if there was something that I experienced in my I don't even know what to call it, episode, situation that I talked about, that can help somebody else in living in a very, very different, situation, but the principles still work. I just wanted to share that. It's just, I'm all about progress and moving forward. And that's all I really want us to do. And I want us to be, improving and being successful day after day. So my story is totally unexpected. I'm a marketer and strategist by profession. Did a lot of work in the corporate world as well as freelance and consulting. Got bored, decided to revamp my business. But one of the things that I was really amazed at is people's the human capacity to brilliantly solve the wrong problems and over again. And so I'm on a quest to change that. So I started reading and teaching and reading. Of course, I'm reading, teaching and writing and speaking about how to solve the impossible, knowing where you need to go when nothing seems to work or you don't know where to begin, that kind of thing. And I actually became a Wall Street Journal and USA Today bestseller when I started on that journey, and have spoken a lot. But I was working on about 5 books at the time. And then in the middle of all this, I got diagnosed with breast cancer. Mm-hmm. And that was just a little over a year ago. And not only did I get diagnosed, this is like, and I'm like speaking at Oxford and flying back and having my surgery, going to Cambridge and coming back and having, different tests. Like, it was insane. Excuse me, my lungs are still healing, and I'll tell you why in a minute. So what happened was I went through chemo, and then that was challenging. I lost all my hair, lost a ton of weight, lost my ability to breathe. And I ended up going into the hospital because of an infection in my tooth, and I ended up getting worse.
Mm.
And then I went into a coma. And I was in a coma for 2 weeks. And I say this all the time, and I'll say it to you guys as well. I had the best coma ever. It was so awesome. And like there's so many things that came to my realization in that. So those are some of the principles that I've talked about in my chapter, is how I dealt with it. I'm still suffer from a residual condition called ARDS, which is acute respiratory distress syndrome. But I am significantly better than I was 6 months ago.
Mm.
So, and I had the best trip ever. So I can't argue. But I have to tell you, the weirdest thing is the most amazing things have been happening since then. So it's just, I mean, I just have so much coming at me right now. But the thing that I'm probably most excited about that's related to this, I have to keep taking a breath every now and then, is I just launched a group called What She Said. And it's a posse of bad bitches doing great things. And it's really for us as women to lift each other up. So it's all about not only growing the business of the woman that's there, but also the woman behind the business. So, and somebody was talking about visibility earlier, and I was going to say that, this, like, if I did a lot of research on what women wanted, and there were 3 things. And so that's what I structured the group around. I call it a collective. The first thing was women are looking for honesty.
Mm.
They're not looking for authenticity. Authenticity is just a price of entry.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you're going to be authentic if you're dealing with me and talking to me, right? So honesty, so you can be honest, but you can also be nice, and you can do it at the same time. So how do we do that? Second thing was visibility. Not just tangible visibility, but that's one of the reasons I called it What She Said, is because when you speak, people listen.
Mm-hmm.
So it's about what she said. And then the third thing was this huge, like, intense sense of community, like intense, like sisterhood, like whatever happens in the posse stays in the posse. So, that kind of airtight community. And a lot of the principles that we'll espouse will be part of what I've written in the chapter. So it's pretty exciting for me. This is a really monumental chapter for me.
Well, I want to say thank you for sharing that part of your journey in the book, because I think that's a really extraordinary story. I mean, I think it's what I said a second ago, unless you are a person who's had to face an illness or a loss or a chronic diagnosis, it's hard for people to really understand what you're trying to convey. But I think books like these, especially this one, there's so many raw stories that it really just provides, I think, an outlet for women to know, like, hey, this is okay. I'm going to be okay. And I know Linda has to go. So.
Hannah, I was just going to tell you too that I think the title of the book is pretty awesome. And I've gotten that feedback from a lot of people too. I just wanted you to know that.
The title of the book came from, obviously, my own unseen battle. I spent the first couple of years after diagnosis talking about my death. I advocated for a lot of bills. I was very young to be diagnosed with what I was, and the deck of cards I was given. And I always had to put on the brave face and smile. And, I've done hundreds and hundreds of interviews with media all over the world, in English and Spanish, and just really, it hit me one day that I did it all because I thought I was helping people to know like there is hope, but really I lost my own hope. My own battle was happening and I was crumbling inside. And I went down this deep state of mental and emotional health spiral where just depression kicked in. And I wasn't sure how to handle it or what to do. And luckily, one of the best doctors that I have on my medical team, he said, "You need to go talk to somebody. And you need to come to the realization as to what's happening with you. And you cannot be the glue anymore. You need to stop protecting everyone else and worrying about how they feel about you being diagnosed and start worrying about you." And so I went through this path of an unseen battle where no one could know my deepest and darkest, scariest feelings that I was feeling. And that's where the book came from. And my journey is still going. What I have, I will fight until God calls me home. Everybody's battle is different, but I was tired of being unseen, unheard, and people not understanding how even the simplest of sometimes cooking a meal for my family has been one of the hardest tasks to do because you're so tired mentally, physically, emotionally. And I think that's why a lot of the books and titles that are out from She Rises Studios come from my heart, come from my brain, come from my own personal walk. And I was just thinking about this today. I've worked with hundreds or thousands of women since 2021. And seeing where they were versus where they are today has been one of the biggest blessings. Like seeing women smile and thrive, even though the battle still continues, has been the biggest gift in all of it. And I know that some people ask the question, why me? Right? Have we all asked that question, why me? And the answer is, why not? Why shouldn't it be you? Why shouldn't it be me? How many of us have had pity parties, and we've graduated into the next level of pity parties. But there comes this point when you got to get out of that mind frame, even when it hurts, and you got to put on that warrior in you, that you have to armor up. And you just have to know that, like the bucket list that you're talking about that you realized your mom didn't get to do, I call it my live it list. I always say, I'm not living to die, I'm dying to live. And when someone puts a timestamp or something over you, life looks different. Perspective is different. When they tell you you may not walk in 10 years, or look at the child who is inflicted with all these different things. Imagine their unseen battle. So this book is so deep on so many levels. And I think if people are willing to read the entire book, open mind, open heart, I really feel it would give them a way different perspective on how they treat their loved ones, on how they treat their coworkers, because the fact of the matter is, you don't know what her unseen battle is. You don't know what his unseen battle is unless you ask or you recognize the signs. And that was kind of my goal for the book. So when we put the call out that we were looking for authors, I remember Adriana and I saying, will this book really be a book? And I said, you bet your ass, girl, it's going to be a book. Because there are women out there that are going through an unseen battle. They want their voices to be heard. They want their stories out there because they want to help other women overcome and go through their own unseen battles. And so I think it's just been a beautiful process. We launched ebook 2 weeks ago. We've been watching the stats of this book and just paying attention to the feedback from people. And I haven't heard one person say anything bad. In fact, it's all been thank you. Thank you for writing this. Thank you for sharing this. Thank you for your open honesty. And that's why we do what we do. So today is Celebration Day. It's one of my favorite days because we write these books, and a lot of people don't understand how much prep goes, especially when you're doing it virtually. Most of us have not met one another in person. So everything has been done virtual, from the meetings to the admin to the behind the scenes, if you can only imagine what it looks like. And Her Unseen Battle hit bestseller in 3 countries, which is Canada, USA, and UK. And in those 3 countries, we hit 4 categories each. So just in a matter of 2 weeks, we've become national, international bestsellers in 12 different categories across the world. That's pretty cool, right?
It's amazing. Amazing. Very cool.
So I think that today is a day of celebration for each one of us, but more importantly, for the person who buys the book. And I hope that they all go to Amazon, buy this book, buy 5, gift it to people, because it's really a book that can really help anyone. It doesn't have to just be about a diagnosis. There are so many unseen battles that we don't know about, and this is just one of those books that hits home that can hit home for so many. So congratulations, ladies, to all of you.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Can I ask? You know how you said that we hit bestseller across countries and categories? Is there like a screenshot or a snapshot that we can get so that we can share it?
They were all sent to you.
Okay.
But I'll have her resend it. Yes.
Okay.
They're there, and I'm actually looking at them now.
Okay.
Let me put my glasses back on, and I can even tell you. But yes, there is. So I know let's see here. For USA bestseller, we hit bestseller in Kindle store. We hit number 67 bestseller in Women in Business Kindle store. We hit bestseller in Women in Business books, and we hit bestseller in motivational self-help. So that's in USA. And then for United Kingdom, we hit bestseller in Kindle store, bestseller in motivational self-help, bestseller in parenting and families, and bestseller in self-help. Canada, we hit bestseller in Kindle store, bestseller in Women in Business, bestseller in motivational self-help books, and bestseller in parenting and relationships. It's pretty awesome. So yes, I will have team send this out to you. So I noticed that Dr. Brianna Boss James just joined us. Good morning. And congratulations to you. I was asking the ladies if they wouldn't mind sharing a little bit about themselves and why they chose to write in this particular book.
Absolutely. Well, I am Dr. Brianna Boss James. I'm the founder of She Bossing Up. This is where I help women boss all the way up. And that is a double acronym for helping them to boldly overcome struggles and setbacks as they positively transform themselves, body, occupation, soul, and spirit. And we do that with coaching and programs and all kind of wonderful life transformational things. We have a membership group and all of that. And then through P31X, where we help women and men and whoever needs it, families and individuals, to secure themselves and their loved ones with life insurance. So super excited about that. Now, why I wrote this book, because bless the Lord, we all suffer, we all struggle, we all battle something. And I know what it is to be in the middle of something that no one else can see, no one else can feel. And when you try to explain it to them, they're like, but I don't get it. That doesn't make sense. Are you sure something's really wrong? And they just don't understand. So I know there are other people out there that have been facing things where they're talking to people, their family or friends, and no one gets it. And I wanted to let people know I get the unseen things. I understand that you can be going through something that no one else knows, no one else sees, no one else understands, and that there's someone here who gets it and is here with you, for you, to rock with you through that thing so you can navigate through life. So that is why I participated in this project. And I'm super ecstatic about it. Bestseller, yay!
So what do you think when you were writing your chapter in the book? What did you notice most about your own unseen battle?
That truly, no matter what it was, even though I felt alone because of my faith and belief. I know that I was never really alone through it. God, Jesus brought me through all of it the whole way, and that it is very important for me to stop and to not try to convince people as to how they can understand what I'm going through. It doesn't matter if they get it, because not everybody's gonna get it. I know where I was, I know what I was going through, and I knew and I learned what I had to do to navigate through it. And at the end of the day, that's all that mattered. I didn't try to people please, stop trying to figure out how to make things make sense and get back to whatever was the quote unquote old normal. Sometimes in life, things change so rapidly and so drastically that there has to be a new normal. And so that is the biggest thing that I learned while writing this, and just kind of going back to it and realizing that, oh, I'm really not out of this thing. I'm still really navigating through it a whole lot. So that's okay. And we're going to keep living life and enjoying every moment of it, no matter what the struggle or the setback is. Life keeps rolling.
It really does. Even when we don't want it to, it does.
Yes.
So here's my next question, ladies. Now what? You've written this book. You have shared, you've been prepping for this for months. Now this book is out. What do you think your next step is for you and for this book? And I'll go straight to Antoinette first.
Well, before I even start, congratulations, ladies, on bestsellers. Like, this is bananas. This is great. That's what's next. I know, but actually, what's next for me is being able to write this chapter. So I've published 3 books this year alone, right? And so there's something a little bit more personal about this chapter, and so I really feel encouraged to go ahead and write my memoir. Right. And so I think the next step for me will be just sharing just all of it, just sharing my life, just to be an encouragement to others, but also to help with some healing of myself that I've incurred over the years, some strong battles that I've had to fight. And just the fact that I'm able to sit down and share and have people relate. You don't have to have multiple sclerosis in order to relate to this chapter. It's just a life. It's life, right? And as Dr. I can't even see, Dr. James. Yes. As she shared, because I read all the chapters were amazing. But as she shared, like it's so much more than that. We all struggle. And so for me, I think the next steps truly would be writing a book about MS, but just overall, just overcoming, right? And so that would be my next step. And also, I've been asked to speak with a couple of other African-American women who have multiple sclerosis as well. I shared it out to a couple of the groups that I'm involved in on social media, and they're like, "Yeah, can you please, would you be open to sharing?" I'm like, well, it is in a book. I guess I am. So really excited about that. But I'm open to anything that God has for me, because what He has for me is for me. So I'm just going to be obedient. I am going to be, just ready and eager to serve Him in any way, shape, or form. But this was an amazing opportunity. I feel extremely blessed to be a part of it.
We're very blessed to have you be a part of it, and thank you for saying yes. What about you, Ava?
Yes, congratulations to every one of us. It's really great to hear that it's best-selling. It's really exciting. For me, what to come next? I am actually starting a speaking journey to getting my message out there even further, and I am starting. I'm starting a course as well to help others to take their step into self-healing and getting to know their body and how to manage that. So those are new things for me. I have my practice where I'm working part-time as a craniosacral osteopath and energy worker, and so it will be a nice add to it to get out there and speak more. And Yeah, I have been asked to be an instructor in the Wellness Hub as well, to share my knowledge there. So that's very interesting and exciting. So yeah, there's a lot to come. I can feel it. And actually, I have signed up for Vandana's what she said as well. So I'm really excited to be a part of that. Actually, to be a part of a group of really awesome women. So look out, here we come.
So delighted, Ava.
That's amazing. Who else would like to share? Go ahead, Pat.
Well, I'll tell you what's going to happen next for me. I had actually written a book called Does Your Bucket List Have a Hole in It? And I hadn't made a decision on how to publish it. So when this opportunity appeared for the chapter, I took part of that book story and condensed it into this chapter. And then I agreed for She Rises Studios to help me write my solo book. And so I have just started that journey with She Rises Studios to publish the entire book. Does Your Bucket List Have a Hole in It? And I'm very excited about that, Hannah. I've been working on this book for ages, and it's like, it is time.
Congratulations. I
Thank
can't
you.
wait to read it. That's a big step. When
It
you
is.
write a solo book, it's a whole different ballgame.
Well, I feel I'm in good hands with She Rises Studios.
You are. You're in great hands. I'm so excited for you. All right. Anyone else want to share what's next?
I can share. Can you guys hear me all right?
Yeah.
Okay, because there's a lot of noise in the back here. So one of the things that I've done before I did this chapter was I had done a TEDx talk as well. And at the end of the TEDx talk, I had recounted a story that it's really just a question that someone had asked me. And, I often get asked the same question is, do you believe everything happens for a reason? And I actually don't, which may not be the most, common answer perhaps. But what I do believe is that make sure that whatever does happen, you give it a purpose. Otherwise, it would have happened in vain. And that would be the tragedy of it all. So when I look at the hundreds and hundreds of hands that touch me to keep my life here, and I didn't have good odds, and I look at the way I want to live life in honor and respect of those people, then that I think is what really drives me. And I actually have about 8 books in the works right now that are solo books, and I'm deliriously excited about them. I've been on podcasts. I've been asked to speak in Iceland now. One of my books is going to the Oscars Gifting Lounge, and I know Hannah, you're going to be there as well, in a different group. I mean, there's just been so many things. I've been on the NASDAQ billboard in Times Square. Things are just, I don't know what it's all of a sudden like you have this realization in your life, and everything just sort of like, it's like a fire hose all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a new experience for me. And I'm one of those people that believes that success is, perpetual, and it can happen over and over and over again. So that's what I just want to see great things happen for people, and that's why in my chapter I was very particular about how might this help you. Kind of answering that question, because nobody really cares about what my life story is, in the sense that everybody's got their thing, right? Like everybody's got difficulties and issues and ups and downs and whatever else. But it's more about how can we help each other rise.
I love that. That's what the book is about, how we can help each other rise, for sure. I think that's amazing that you're taking this book to Oscars week, because you can, a lot of people think because of the stature of people that attend those that they don't need things like this, but they do.
Mhm.
I think that's amazing. Who else would like to share?
That would be me. Yeah. So, no, I'm going to continue to promote this book, as well as I'm going to be in the next anthology, I believe, that's coming out, The Pray Don't Panic. So I'm excited about that one. And then I too have a solo book that's coming out in February. I have been working on that for a few years. Glory to God, the enemy tried to steal it. I forgot I was writing a book for like a whole year and a half. It was quite hilarious, the story behind that. And then remembered. So I am excited to be finished with that. And of course, She Rises is publishing it. And when I tell you, the solo book process is different, but they
Yeah.
are absolutely exceptional through the whole project. This has been one of the easiest things that I've done in my life in dealing with them. So thank you, Hannah, for a great team that you have to get that done. So that's the next things that are going through, and then doing some speaking and some training and some developing and hoping to partner with some people and hold some retreats and events, because I absolutely love all things retreats.
Me too. Me too. Anyone else, ladies? Did we all get a moment to share what is next? I know for me, my focus for 2025, even today and moving forward, is just really focusing on my own personal health and wellness. I can't fill anyone else's cup unless mine is full. And that has been a lesson for me all year. I think that I had made a decision to put the pen down and not write for a while. And, a lot of people were like, what? You're not going to write anymore? And I said, no, I think I'm done. But, writing is therapeutic. And before I knew it, I've had a lot of time to sit and do some self-reflection. And before I knew it, I was picking the pen back up and still writing. So I think it's really great when we contribute and pay it forward, the knowledge and experiences that each one of us have. And so I just want to say before we close out today, the book is called Her Unseen Battles. It is with 26 extraordinary, impressive, phenomenal women who all took the leap and said yes to sharing their stories. It is available all across Amazon now in paperback as well as ebook. So you can get it on your device and you can get it in your hand. It will continue to circulate through to other retailers. And this is a book that anyone can read. I know it says Her Unseen Battles, but everyone knows a woman. And think about what maybe she could possibly be going through and how this could be a gift for her. So please grab your copy today. And if you already have, please leave a review, connect with these incredible women, and stay tuned for what's next, because this won't be the last time that we talk about this book and what we've got in the works for it. And congratulations, ladies.
I have a quick question, Hannah. Can I put this on my website?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And you can get with the team. They can help you.
Okay.
And this is live, by the way. So any admin questions that you ladies have or things behind the scenes, definitely the team is on deck. But I mean, not bad for 2 weeks, hitting 12 categories, 3 countries. So let's keep that momentum. Don't stop talking about this book. For those of you watching who are going to share this later, please connect, help share. It is a really great book. You might cry, but they're good cries. All right, ladies, congratulations. And thank you for joining me today in the author celebration for Her Unseen Battle, available on Amazon and all retailers. And happy holidays to everyone. Thank you. Bye, ladies.
Bye.